Hello everyone. I think I don't know if the sound will come out right, but I'm recording this while I'm driving. I'm looking at the road. I wanted to talk about Lebron James. Now, the thing is, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, I was born in 83, and I saw Jordan when I was a kid. As a teenager, I saw Michael Jordan, how he dominated. And I remember it very well, Some games I even used to record on VHS back in the day. Now, with that being said, I saw Michael Jordan be very dominant. I saw that he had the ball in his hands when the game was about to be when the game was going into the final minutes, final seconds. And many times I even called it, like my family that didn't know about Jordan, I told them, I said, hey, watch this game, watch what he's going to do. He's going to take the last second shot. And a lot of times he would make those game winning shots, and when my family saw it, they were like, wow, this guy's like, wow, he's taking the whole team on his shoulder, and so my family even got into it. But I felt that this was how dominant he was, that even you as a fan, or me as a fan, could call the play in the last seconds and say, hey, guess what? He's going to get the ball. Jordan is going to get the ball. And what happens? Jordan does get the ball, and he makes a winning shot. So that was like, something very good. Something very good with Jordan, and something as a fan I was blessed. Now, with LeBron James, you don't see that. As a fan, even in the All-Star game, when Kobe told him, shoot the ball, he didn't shoot it, he passed it. In many instances, he would pass the ball, and somebody else would have to take the heat, no pun intended. And somebody else was a cavalier, no pun intended, to take the winning shot. But, pun was intended, by the way. But my point is that's one of the things that was different about Jordan and LeBron. As a fan, Jordan really tickled my fantasy. I don't know if that sounds kind of gay, but that's just how you put it. He really, as a fan, he really took care of me as a fan. You know what I mean? Like, not with the way he sold his shoes or the commercials. I'm saying strictly on the basketball court. As a fan, if you grew up in the 80s watching Jordan, he made you a fan and a believer when he played on the court, when he did the dunk contest. In the 90s, he made you a fan and a believer when he won his first three-peat. In the late 90s, he made you a fan when a 30-plus, 33, 34, 35-year-old Jordan carried a team to a three-peat. He made you a fan. And no matter what age you were in the 80s and the 90s, along the line you will hear about Michael Jordan, and you do become a fan eventually if you start following him. So I like Jordan. I was like, wow, this guy's really into something. This guy's something special. When LeBron came, I was in college, and I followed him in high school, and ESPN used to broadcast his games, and they used to broadcast his high school games because he never went to college. But in college, when I was in college, I saw his high school games and highlights. So he was already, in my mind, like, wow, I'm going to follow this guy because he's going to be like the next Jordan. And he performed, I think, in the McDonald's or something, or ABC camp, or whatever the camps there were. But they showed some of his game, and he had these nice passing abilities, and he was very athletic, and he showed very good. Uh-oh, my phone just went the other way. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to Probably stop my car and fix the situation here. I don't know if the recording will come out right. So hold on a second, folks. Let me fix it for y'all. All right, we're back in business. So, LeBron basically was very popular in high school already. And when he's popular in high school, doing all those highlights, there was a lot of burden put on him, that, hey, this guy's going to be the king, you're going to witness him as being the next Jordan. He was on the Slam cover in high school, him and Sebastian Telfair, who I thought was going to be like a Marbury type player since he came out of, I guess, Stephon Marbury's city, supposedly, if I'm not mistaken. But, or he's also, I think he's the nephew or somebody, or cousin of Stephon Marbury, Sebastian Telfair. So him and LeBron were making, a lot of noise, And when LeBron came into the league, he was good. He was doing some really good passes, some spectacular dunks. And the first year, second, third, fourth year, you saw him with the highlights and stuff. But let me tell you something. It was not Air Jordan of the 80s when Jordan came into the league. What happened was Jordan had this, if you watch his highlights, they were really eye-catching highlights. They were highlights where you were like, just the way he did a layup. If you go on YouTube, watch those jelly layups he did. Man, he did some awesome layups where he hung in the air and did all that. And then as Jordan was, growing older, you saw how the type of dunks he used to do, how the type of shots he used to make. And as he was winning championships, you just saw how strong he was. He could back down defenders, and how his leg movement, and how he would pivot his leg and do that fadeaway. Just so many things, The fadeaway was something, in the late 90s was something that Jordan really made it his weapon. But with LeBron, what you saw is, he's 30, he's going to be 33 next year probably. He's born in 84, I think, so he'll be 33 probably this year. But with LeBron, what you saw is you saw a passing game, you saw dunking, but you never really saw the type of highlights that Jordan did. And you won't, because LeBron's body type is different from Jordan's. And right now, when you watch the playoffs in 2017, and you see how he's dominating and what he's doing, and killing teams, it's very fun to watch. And, the comparisons to Jordan are definitely going to be there because of just for him making the finals every year, even though he didn't win the finals. But here's the difference between LeBron and Jordan, according to me, according to my eyewitness account. And like I said, everybody's eyewitness account is going to be different. But when I saw Jordan, I saw the dominance, and I saw an alpha male who took the shots, who carried the team. But yet, he was very fundamentally sound, and he did all the right plays at the right time, and it looked like a storybook ending when Jordan was playing in the league, especially in the 90s. In the 90s, Jordan, after he defeated the 91 Pistons, which was not a very old team, as a lot of people say. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, some say was 29, and there were like guys that were in their late 20s, like Isaiah was 29 or 30. So it wasn't like it was an old Pistons team he beat. He beat a young Pistons team, but he beat a team that was right after they won the championship, the Pistons in 1990. He beat them in 91. So it's not like they were all of a sudden they declined. They it was still a pretty good team, but they swept them. The Bulls did, and when the Bulls swept them, they did it in a dominant manner. And then the Bulls beat the Lakers that year in the finals in 91, and they beat them in 5 games, even though the first game the Bulls lost. And that team had a Magic Johnson, and a lot of players were injured, they said, in that team. But regardless, the Bulls did a very dominant job in all the finals that they played. And every year, every of those years, Jordan was the MVP of the finals. And, I think he had the most scoring in the finals. But with that being said, when you compare him to LeBron James, you can compare them. There's no reason you can't or you shouldn't. I mean, I do, because I grew up watching Jordan and I grew up watching LeBron too. But watching them both, there is a difference, because LeBron's game, if you grew up in the 90s and the 80s watching the basketball back then, LeBron's game, according to how Jordan used to play, sometimes frustrates you. And it's not because maybe LeBron is a bad player. No, he's a good player. But the thing is that when you want the killer instincts in certain games with LeBron, it's not there. And my example is in 2009 when they played against Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard's team. That year, LeBron made that winning shot. And I was like, wow, he beat the Magic Orlando in a game in the playoffs, but not the series. That was not a series winning shot. That was a game winning shot. And everybody was happy, cheering this and that. All of a sudden, Magic came back, and I think they defeated the Cavs, and the Magic went to the finals with a young Dwight Howard. Now, back then, LeBron might not have the best supporting cast, but that was a time when the killer instincts needed to come out. And LeBron, instead of just scoring 30 points, 40 points, he needed to score 50 points just to put that legend in LeBron, Now, he's still legendary, don't get me wrong. But in 2009, that could have been the year that LeBron James could have made the Cavs something of just a legendary team, because everybody wanted to see LeBron versus Kobe that year in 2009, and Lakers did go to the finals. There was those commercials with the puppets, LeBron and Kobe, going back and forth. Kobe saying, LeBron, I got 4 rings, 3 rings, stuff like that. LeBron didn't have any rings. And then in 2007, when LeBron played against the Spurs, you saw that, he made the finals, and that was like, wow, such a young man doing this and that. But what I would have liked to see, I don't remember that series all that well. I do know that I think LeBron's team got swept. The Cavs got swept in 2007. But what LeBron could have done in that series is scored a lot of points. Like, Jordan, when he was young, when he was in 1985 scoring against the Boston Celtics, they weren't going to win that series. That team, the 86 Boston Celtics, was the 85 team or the 86 team? Yeah, the 86 team. 86 Boston Celtics, that team was a dominant team, man. That was a team that I think they have one of the best records back in the day. And Jordan scored 63 points against that team. So even though Jordan didn't win the series, a lot of people don't know about that, but a lot of people do remember Jordan scoring 63 points and Larry Bird saying it's God disguised as Michael Jordan. It's a famous quote. But what my point is this, that when you watch the Cavs and the Spurs back in the 2007 finals, I don't remember any highlights of LeBron scoring like 60 points, Of course, he was young back then, but still, what I'm saying is, that's what, if he had done that, they would have said he's Jordan-esque. Like, yeah, he's, hey, man, even though they were going to lose that series against the Spurs in 2007, but LeBron still got his numbers, But, again, LeBron ain't Jordan, because he plays a different style of game. But the frustration comes is for us Jordan fans who grew up watching Jordan. We got spoiled by seeing the best ever, the GOAT. And we expected the same from LeBron.